Welcome. You're on Switched On IT. I'm Barry. We have Ray and Doug with us again this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey there.
Good morning, Barry.
Now, gentlemen, last week we talked about cryptocurrencies and in particular Bitcoin. I discovered during the week that we actually have a business here in town, well, two of them actually, Primitivo and Chocolato, that both offer the ability to pay for your meal in Bitcoin. So that's interesting. Now, gentlemen, what we are going to do today, I believe, is to continue our discussion on Bitcoin. Doug, it's over to you.
Okay, thanks, Barry. Just to note that it's Anzac Day in Australia, so I'm sure we've been at our Anzac Day marches and dawn services, Barry. So now we're here, we're able to talk about something a lot more removed from Anzac Day than cryptocurrency. So I think we'll recap on where we were on the last show as well. So we talked a little bit about the blockchain technology that underpins all cryptocurrencies. We probably need to veer off into explaining where blockchain has terrific applications outside of cryptocurrencies as well. We touched on cryptocurrency mining and the processes around that, and how currencies may be capped, and people are still trying to get the last few bitcoins that might be out there. We also talked about wallets and the challenge of making sure that you were able to hang on to your cryptocurrency once you've got it. And then we also touched on, but didn't explore, that there's actually quite a number of cryptocurrencies, and in a sense there is nothing stopping anyone from developing an algorithm and using the blockchain technology and creating their own cryptocurrency. And as it turns out, there's quite a few entities that have done that. So I'll be asking Ray about the different types of cryptocurrencies just as an overview, and we'll talk about a few of the ones that have been released over the last few years. So maybe we can jump straight into that and talk about the major types of cryptocurrencies. Ray, from your standpoint, and if you're hearing a little bit of noise in the background, part of Anzac Day is that we'll have fighter jets flying up and down the harbour in Sydney, and that's what that background noise is. Ray, what are the most popular cryptocurrencies out there, and what can you tell us about them? Have they got particular use cases, or what is their relevance to the ordinary person or the ordinary business?
Sure. So we can think about cryptocurrency probably in two different of the most popular cryptos. People typically talk about the kind of top three. I tend to only think about the top two, which is Bitcoin itself and the other, which is Ethereum. There are approximately 1,600 cryptocurrencies trading in exchanges today. That's tenfold of the number of fiat or governmental, state-based currencies that exist today. And so, there's just a lot of them out there. And I think it comes to the point of what you said, which is that with a couple of hours of time and a little bit of technological savvy, you can have your own cryptocurrency. You can develop your own blockchain-based, cryptocurrency. And because of that, that doesn't necessarily mean that it has intrinsic value to the monetary system, but it certainly does give a strong capability of you being able to establish this kind of decentralized network, which is great, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the point behind Bitcoin is really to hold value, right, in terms of a monetary system, but that's not what all cryptocurrencies are for. And so, for example, in the case of Ethereum, think of Ethereum as the building, the foundation for being able to build an application platform And so it is an application platform, and Ether, which is the coin used on the Ethereum platform, it has monetary value. It's exchanged for that monetary value, but the real reason for it being in existence is the use of the system for application purposes. So, yes, there's a monetary value involved, but the real point is to be the engine of making sure that applications are running. These applications are called dApps, distributed applications, and that means if you're a developer, you can create an application now on the Ethereum blockchain, and you have this ability to have this decentralized, based application, and all of the benefits of the blockchain, while having you're adding yourself to a network where there are people to basically help you develop the security around the distributed application, right? Because they're incentivized through Ether to make that happen. But that's kind of the secondary to the point of it. The primary engine for this blockchain, for this cryptocurrency existence is for the applications to be able to be run. And like smart contracts, for example, you want to be able to sign a contract with me. We can do that all in the blockchain, but we can't do that without the incentive of the group to be able to have consensus that that's authenticated. So Ether is used as the incentive to be able to make sure that we can authenticate across the network. So little things like that. We were talking before we started recording about, say, if you went to a carnival or some kind of entertainment fair, and you got some tokens to go take a ride, or to play at an arcade, you got some tokens to play at the arcade. You would exchange those, and if you won some of the arcade games, or if you won some of the carnival games, you would then get maybe some tickets or something back that told you that you could exchange those for stuffed animals and other kinds of gifts and whatnot for your winnings. That's what's happening with the blockchain-based cryptocurrencies. A lot of these tokens, as they're called, are being utilized for the operation of what's happening. It's not money in the sense of how we use it in the external world. It's internal value that's used to make the engine run.
Open. Thank you very much for your attendance. Welcome to our staff.
Hi, this is Mick Jagger on
Classic Vinyl.
This is Debbie Harrow from Blondie.
This is Jimmy Barnes here.
Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
This is Reverend Willie G from ZZ Top.
The best tracks from the greatest albums of our generation.
That's right.
From your breakfast and coffee to your drive home.
We've got the classic hits that make your workday,
And you got a job to do.
Go by a lot faster.
hey, if we haven't said it lately. Thanks for listening. The home of classic rock.
Don't touch the dial.
PowerFMRadio.com.au.
Whether you're a professional musician, a weekend warrior, or just starting out, you need to talk to the experts at Royce Music. With over 35 years' experience, Royce Toowoomba's oldest music store specialises in guitars, drums, and sound equipment, and can even repair and maintain your equipment. Call them today on 46 327 377, drop into their showroom at 17 Bowen Street, or find them on Facebook. Royce Music, selling Toowoomba's finest musical instruments.
Hi, I'm Neil from CGD Group, and we do printing with imagination. Our products and imaging have that wow factor. Whether it be business cards, flyers, the Coffee Gazette, or our brand new A5 video folders and animation. Have your business branding remembered. Call us today on 4639 5553. CGD Group, printing with imagination.
On Power TV Australia, we take a frank look at computers, the internet and social media with a team of experts from around the world with Switched On IT. Learn what makes the internet tick and how to keep your kids safe online. Discover a whole new world of entertainment at www.powertvaustralia.com or download the app from the Google Play Store.
Thanks, Ray. That's that analogy of the theme park where people can go in with their particular theme park currency, the tokens and coins, whatever the theme park has issued, to use their currency, what they've got in different rides, and to do different things, and even to add value to the ecosystem of that theme park and use their cryptocurrencies in there. I think that kind of makes it very understandable, and we get why you can have multiple generators of cryptocurrencies doing their ICO, their initial coin offering, and they might be doing that to support a particular ecosystem that people will derive value from. The technology that underpins cryptocurrencies is really the blockchain technology that confirms and validates the essential elements of an exchange process. Do you want to talk a little bit about blockchain technology and where we might see it being used outside of cryptocurrencies?
Sure. So blockchain technology is, as you said, what underpins Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is one implementation of blockchain, and so blockchain technology is this idea of a decentralized accounting ledger that allows you to be able to have a peer-to-peer, meaning there's no centralized party that verifies that information for you. It's a consensus-based system across a network of different computers, and we have millions of computers in the world, and and by millions of computers I mean we include mobile devices like cell phones, smartphones, tablets, laptops, and computers, as well as main servers that are sitting in like at Oz Hosting, right? You have servers that all of this computing power together. Yeah, absolutely. All of this computing power together is actually is a supercomputer if it can all be connected to one another. And for those who may know about Tor, what they sometimes call the dark web, is an implementation of a decentralized internet. Well, we're talking about a decentralized accounting ledger with blockchain technology, and so we can see things like land records, where we can have a public, verifiable chain of title, and kind of fun because blockchain, chain of title. We can have this now publicly accessible by anyone, and keeping it all verified in this database that is highly secure. People can't easily change something to suit themselves, and so we someday will probably have all of our land records on a public blockchain. It just makes sense. Another implementation would be in the notary space. So notaries public are the officials who certify your identity and on behalf of the state, on behalf of the government that they are certified to be a notary public for, and they are signing off that you are the person signing that document at that dated time and that you're signing it correctly, right? And I believe that's the same case in Australia as it is here in the United States. And so notaries, I think, should start looking at another career because the blockchain is going to be able to allow you to do this digitally now, and you'll have some trusted ID, a public key that verifies who you are on the public blockchain, and then you can go to another blockchain and identify yourself, sign a document, sign a contract, say on the Ethereum blockchain, and there was no necessity for there to be that third party. You don't need the notary public because the technology has satisfied who you are and what you're signing. And so that's just two examples of how this kind of technology, while it's not sexy, you don't see it up front, the background engine that's making this highly secure, peer-to-peer, and hence the decentralized, and a system that allows you to account for these things is very, very powerful technology.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to affect so many aspects of commercial activity and just life in general for us as we develop how to apply the blockchain technology to everyday lives and everyday commercial activity. Now, I think we're getting towards the end of our discussion on blockchain and cryptocurrencies. I think the one final aspect to consider is what the risks are involved for people that have actually converted real, ordinary currency into cryptocurrencies. And is it a reliable and stable store of wealth? What is the regulatory environment for it at the moment in different countries? And is there potential for that to change as different governments look at their ability to manage their economies and their ability to tax their citizens? Cryptocurrencies has got some potential to affect that. So, just looking forward, Ray, what's your sense on the level of risk and the appetite of governments to try and regulate this fairly unregulated area of economic activity?
Well, if it's anything like here in the States how New York City has currently regulated cryptocurrency exchanges, we're in for a very, very bumpy ride. And, so they don't understand what the blockchain technology is. And there is a potential for us to lose sight of the underlying, the backbone of what blockchain is, and start to regulate cryptocurrency in kind of a cut once, cut deep, or this broad-based legislation. I foresee more legislation coming down the pike globally. As we were talking off camera about this, there's a threat to governments managing inflation and the monetary supply, right? So there is definitely a problem for governments if the fiat currencies are not the primary currencies for themselves. But I think ultimately, even if we never kill off the currencies that are fiat from cryptocurrencies, all of the various global governments, as they learned how to exchange with one another, they will learn to exchange with cryptocurrencies. I think it's just a matter of time while that kind of fleshes itself out. But I think I said in the last episode, I erroneously said something, and I just want to correct myself, which is to say that do not put money. We're not professional, financial advisors. You should seek out professional financial advice from those folks who are chartered or certified to do so. I run my own personal thoughts on this are that don't put any money in that you aren't willing to lose. I think I said the inverse in the last episode, but I really meant don't put anything in you're not willing to lose. We're currently at 80% of all Bitcoin mined, right? And as we said in the last episode, we have up to 21 million Bitcoin that can be mined, so roughly around the 16, 17 million Bitcoin mined. And so we really don't know what's going to happen once all the Bitcoin is mined, right? It keeps becoming more and more valuable as it becomes fully mined. But then at some point we're going to have to deal with what the value of Bitcoin is and what the value of Satoshis, the actual units in which you exchange Bitcoin. We're going to have to figure out what that is for everybody so that we have enough of those in circulation for it to be actually useful. And will we use that usefully is really a big question. So the risks are, will people use it? Will the technology catch up so that we have a more user-friendly environment? Because right now using cryptocurrency is very non-user friendly. You can't go to your average website and use cryptocurrency to buy something. There's a lot of regulatory instability. We don't know what governments are going to do. Certainly they want to regulate it, but they also want to see businesses, startups develop this technology so that it can help us be more secure. Because really that's a big driving force behind this, right, is privacy and security. But at what cost to law enforcement and what cost to the fiat currencies? So there's a lot of unrest here, but I think it's also a very exciting time for small businesses to lead the charge in terms of what blockchain can really become.
Yeah, very interesting. We'll have to just see what the political implications are for different governments and how they're going to respond. Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Well, gentlemen,
over to you, Barry.
That's been a really interesting discussion again. I think that we'll leave it there for today, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you very much for your time, gents. It's been a pleasure as usual, and we'll look forward to discussing something else next week. Now, viewers, if you have questions about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies or anything that you would like to ask, be sure to send us an email. The email address is at the bottom of the screen there. Don't forget that if you are needing some coaching, Ray is available as a coach, and if you need hosting for your website, or you need to look at Office 365 or anything like that, Doug is there at Oz Hosting, and both their details are on the screen for you there. We will see you again next week. Take care.